guys, welcome back to We Watched a Movie. I'm Jay, this is Mike, and we got done watching Silent Hill Revelation, and goddamn was it a revelation of weirdness and fuck!
We watched a movie. Yeah. We watched a movie. We watched it. We watched a movie. Yeah.
Alyssa from the first movie is a little bit older, she's a little bit wiser, she's still fucking possessed. Get that bitch an exorcist! In Silent Hill Revelation, Alyssa and her father have been running from town to town, place to place, assuming different identities to keep on the run from the people from Silent Hill because they want Alyssa back. They want her to complete some ritual, some kind of cult ritual that they need her for. The whole movie, they're being stalked by these Silent Hill people, and Alyssa finally returns to Silent Hill to find her father, played by Sean Bean from the first one. Yeah, that's about it.
Sean Bean.
Sean Bean's such a fantastic actor. I wish they had really put him in this movie.
I wish he was in more stuff.
Yeah, Sean Bean is a great underrated actor.
I think The Hitcher with Sean Bean is an underrated movie.
Thank you, Peanut Gallery. Let's talk about the girl that played Alyssa.
Yeah.
Or Heather is her name in the movie.
I don't know, man. She was okay for some parts. She just didn't seem like shocked enough by all the stuff that was happening around her. And also sometimes her shocked face was like, it was almost as if I was like, oh, really? Oh gosh. The acting as a whole, with the exception of Sean Bean, who has a small role in the film, there's a guy who befriends her and he's trying to help her through this, and he's got his own backstory or whatever. We won't get into that, but he was terrible. Her friend was absolutely atrocious as an actor. He should not have been in a big time movie. He should have been in like a Lifetime movie about like Jingle Bells.
And there were certain scenes in this movie that also had no purpose whatsoever. There's a scene where they go on a city bus and there's a dude laughing with a stuffed animal. It's like, it just didn't make any sense. This movie, ultimately, plotline, everything, LSD trip. We saw this in 3D, which probably helped it with my score anyway, because the 3D aspects, how they used the 3D was pretty well fucking done. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, the 3D was awesome, I thought. And we don't see a lot of movies in 3D. We're not huge fans of it. But the 3D in this movie was great. For a horror movie, like, when the knife or something comes out, it comes out of the screen, like, right in your face. The snowfall effects, all the Silent Hill effects. Or whatever.
Ash.
The ashfall effects, all the Silent Hill effects, all that stuff like that looks great in 3D. I don't think my score would be as high without the 3D. Because there's sequences that the 3D effect will actually scare you. It kind of feels... A lot of this movie feels like you're on a ride. It doesn't feel like you're watching a movie. It feels like you're on a ride, and you're just like waiting for the next time to be scared. Like there was a couple points where I was holding my drink, and
what kind of beverage was it?
It was non-alcoholic. No, there was a couple times where I was holding my drink, and I would put it down real quick because I didn't want to drop it because there's a lot of jump scares in it. And the jump scares are pretty good.
The first Silent Hill was kind of like it took a while to get going. The first 35 minutes of this movie is really action-oriented. It has a lot of scare tactics in it. I mean, there was a scene in this movie when the chick is at the mall, the main girl Heather is at the mall, where like the metal grating of the elevator fucking scared me. Because the 3D, it comes at you like this, and you're like, oh shit, it was just grating.
Yeah.
It's just grating, it doesn't mean anything.
The 3D really does add to the scare. Yeah,
I looked over at you one time, dude, you had your little 3D glasses, you were like, oh.
The storyline and the plot and the writing, all as one, it was just kind of muddled. Like, I had a really hard time following this movie and figuring out what the hell I was watching, what was going on. At one point, I honestly gave up, and I was just like, all right, I'm just going to sit back and enjoy it for the scares.
Well,
because it's really hard to follow.
I played Silent Hill, the video game, a long time ago, and Mike said he has too, so I mean, I'm not, like, caught up on if it goes along with the game that well, but it's not bad. Like, it's just like... Sometimes they were trying to rush too much stuff in at once, and the people that haven't played the game or have no background in Silent Hill at all are going to have a hard time figuring out what's actually happening unless you were smoking pot and doing acid before you went and see it in the theater. And you're like, yes, I get it. It's fucking crazy. But what I liked the most about it, I do like the freaky imagery. Like, there's a lot of, like, dreamscape shit in it that you're like, oh my god. Like, that is totally what I fucking dreamed of the other night when I ate a fucking burrito too late. Like, it's like that kind of shit. It fucking does. There's some shocking stuff in it. Like, and... I don't. Pyramid Head is used more like in this movie than he was in the first one, which is pretty cool. I mean, you guys have played the game and see the first movie, so you're gonna know who Pyramid Head is. You know, the fucking big guy with the fucking swords and shit.
With the pyramid head.
He has a pyramid on his fucking head from Egypt. And I think there's a lot more happening in this movie, and it flows.
Definitely a lot more energetic than the first film.
Exactly, it's really more energetic. The first one, the first film, Silent Hill, it's been a while since I've seen it, but the first one I remember it being kind of slow, and then there's some freaky parts in it, which could work, and it worked in its own way, but this one has a lot of scares at the beginning, then it slows down in the interlude, and the interlude, I think with the plot, it kind of loses itself a little bit, because they're trying to explain what's going on, and then it goes back up to Freakingville, and then it goes back down to Normalville.
That if you're a fan of the game, definitely go see the movies. And if you're a fan of the first film, definitely go to see the movie. I think it's better than the first film was. And I definitely recommend, we didn't do this, but I definitely recommend that you watch the first Silent Hill film before you go to the theater to see this. I think that'll help tie things in together for you. My ultimate rating is a 6.0. I was entertained. There was a lot of this that felt like a ride. We laughed a little bit. We were scared a little bit. And we were really freaking confused a little bit. So
I'm going to give this movie a 7.0. I actually enjoyed this movie better than the first one. I mean, the first one was still, it was kind of too slow for me. There's a lot of extreme imagery in it that is pretty freaky. I mean, like freaky imagery.
Let me just say there's one scene that involves like a cook.
Yeah.
Diner that's really freaking cool.
The mall scene. The mall scene's pretty badass. Like, you guys would enjoy that. And that actually gets you going. And almost like they saved up all the great scares in the beginning of the movie to keep you hooked on it to see what happens. The question is, if you guys have seen the Resident Evil films, which I'm sure you guys have, and the Silent Hill films, which is the better adaptation from the video game? I was more of a fan of Resident Evil myself, so I played a lot of more Resident Evil films or games than I did Silent Hill. So what do you guys think? Do you guys think that Silent Hill is a successful adaptation of the video game, or do you think Resident Evil is, for some reason, more successful in adaptation-wise for video games?
Anyways, guys, rate, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you next time on We Fucked a Duck.
I didn't fuck a duck. See you guys.
We did a review. We watched a movie.